As home prices soar and bidding wars drive those prices even higher, a new mortgage stress test is being brought in today. The new rules will reduce buying power for some and protect people in case interest rates go up. Develle Morrison joins me now. She's an agent with Bosley Real Estate. Develle, good morning. Glad you could be with us.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
First of all, why do we need new rules? What's going on out there in the housing market for those who might be living under a rock and don't know how hot the market's been?
You know what? It's kind of funny. It is a good question. Why do we need new rules? I know that they created those rules. I know that they created those rules because they wanted to cool the market. They're finding that the prices are rising too high. But, I also kind of feel like we should allow the free market to do what it needs to do. I almost wish if they were going to do something to affect housing, that maybe they might want to help people pay mortgages of some of the business owners who've been closed for the last 6 months, as opposed to jumping into this part of the market. I guess those are kind of my thoughts about that.
Okay, so then what is this new rule? What do these new rules mean for first-time home buyers?
So, essentially it means that instead of having right now, if they wanted a mortgage, let's say they got a mortgage and they would have an interest rate of 2%. Instead, what the new rule states is that now they're going to be stress tested at 5.25% to see if they can still make their mortgage payments at 5.25% instead of the 2% that they'd be paying right now. I guess a couple of my issues with that is that right now people can get really low rates. You can get a 5-year fixed rate for 2% or under 2%. And so why stress test people at 5.25%? Because that's a rate they won't even be paying for 5, 10, 15 years. When's the last time people actually had to pay a rate of 5.25% for their mortgage? And then let's look at the delinquency rate for mortgages across Canada. It's less than 1%. Last time I checked, I think CMHC quoted 0.23% was the delinquency rate on mortgages in Canada. Canadians are really diligent about paying off their mortgages, and around 42% of Canadians live mortgage free. So what's our risk? And so I guess that's my question. Why do this? Because I feel that it hurts first-time home buyers.
Do you think it will drive more of those people into the condo market?
Yes, it's definitely going to make first-time home buyers have to rethink the budget and what they were spending in the home. But I also think it's going to get a lot more first-time home buyers to get their parents to co-sign on them as well too. So it's not just in case, if the parents don't have money to give to their parents for a property, that's fine. But I think what we might see a lot more of right now is parents being asked to co-sign on properties so that their kids can actually get a property in the first place.
What about changes to the process itself around buying? We mentioned blind bidding. People have no idea, what people are pricing high and then they're getting more, and people have no idea what other people are offering on a home when they go in to make a bid. Would you like to see some changes made around the process of trying to purchase a home?
Absolutely not. I'm one of those people where I'm
You
like,
sell houses.
well, I think blind bidding absolutely works for the seller, for sure. But I think that people don't realize that there are still problems with the Australian model, which is the open bidding system.
Yeah.
I think they have the same system in Ireland as well. And, I've heard stories in Ireland and Australia where people just get their neighbors who aren't planning on buying a house to show up and bid the price up. So I think that it's false to think that there aren't issues with the other system as well. My biggest reason why I do like the process that we have right now for bidding is that it allows people to think before they increase the price. Picture standing with a group of people and letting all of your egos feed into yourself about, oh, if that guy can pay more, I can pay more. And you have to make a split-second decision. Imagine now instead, the current system that we have, if someone's asking you for more money to bid on the house, you get to pick up the phone, call your mortgage broker, call your bank, call your parents. You actually have time to think, can I actually afford this house? Does this make sense for me? And I think with the open auction system, people don't have time to think. And for a purchase that is the largest purchase of your life, I think that time to think is absolutely critical.
Develle Morrison, real estate agent. Thank you so much. Appreciate your thoughts and your time.
Thanks for joining me.